platforms, I mean, who said Nani Pabi Brea has to do with a request from Peace Council. The chairman of Peace Council said, going into 2024 elections now, December, a few months away, no, Peace Council of Ghana will need about $1 million to be able to go about its activities regarding the elections. And I'm sure say nipa bebrete sansem we no, and ade be call team say enti krom ha yeti enti empani for mo dwe nipa ho ana nema omuhu no. Is it different from what we see? And I say ebi a enya nyini nuru ho nti, like sometimes there are a whole lot of questions that what why now here's some of the happenings on our political space, the way people speak, the way people react, the way people suddenly become dumb when issues are underpinning national interest. And you begin to ask yourself a whole lot of questions, because you see, if Peace of Council is telling us peace has become so expensive to the extent that they will need a whooping $1 million to be able to run about their activities in this country. Fine. But the question is, peace, you know, how do we achieve peace? And what are the processes? Peace. And over the years, I heard some of the happenings. I course will come have a breya Ghana for take Neman koyo no way yo. Na Peace Council no more hefa. And our mandate a Peace Council one a year just for elections. These are fundamental questions we need to interrogate as people. And when we are doing this, we are not doing this because we are cynic. And I say we are arrogating to ourselves a certain rule, say yeah, anti-government, your friend say whatever you people very often call it. The question is why has Peace Council been overwhelmingly silent in the face of the many atrocities? Say, trust me, I am Ghana for, and I am benevolent and charitable enough to watch this classic incompetence glide without violence. Komekacho said the AC or Kenya, and why the young people in Kenya rose up and resisted, which eventually resulted in some of the scenes na you know. Where we are as a country, we've gone past that situation. But in any of these instances, you know, we have never heard from Peace Council. Nema kosugo krom ha nyina the bonena their mandate, you know, are viable only when we are going into elections. Because I mean, there are a lot of stuff in the past last year I would have expected send the Peace Council by intervening, but we never heard their voice. Let me chronicle some of these issues. So we are not saying these things because we have a certain ill motive being in as a forum. We went into 2020 elections, and in Techiman, we saw military men, police officers, clad in military uniform. I don't know whether they were not police or Obia Mekasa no Munye Soja for. Clad in military and police uniform. Our Techiman Election Coalition Center. Omu reason is people no more gather at the election grounds, you know, were peddling stones at soldiers. And the only intervention are trained professionals, military people, are betting me at their back against civilians or not for a bonus. Omudituo a use live bullet. Looking into the faces of these miserable people, gather at an election area, are observing the process because that is their constitutional duty. Vigilance during elections. These people were shot point blank during an election. Peace Council has never commented on this particular matter, and they have never called for justice. President Akufo-Addo went there and told the family Nothing. He rather told the people of Techima, he said, "Mema mamu region, edu homan to abamame." Asemo kafa nipa na yeku omo Techima about the election was just a passing comment when he was accepting presidency. Na yese wa when and say the election was peaceful, but for few regrettable deaths. That was the statement made by the president. The last time I was telling you, America teacher Niba, was it Kenya? The American government spent over $100 million and deployed the SEAL team to Africa for a rescue mission for one life. We went into an election, 8 people were shot dead. No akoko kran who are investigating no. And it wasn't like something that happened spontaneously. This whole thing that unfolded in Techiman was caught on camera. I had some of the video on my phone. And I'm sure many of you had that same video and still have the video. No investigation. The family have not been compensated. Just said no sensible thing. And a president na can. Sabi family now come up till date. Peace Council thinks peace is an event that should be brought to bear during election period. Processes now because my culture say peace that is built on injustice is crisis in postponement. Whenever you see people trying to forgo principle rules and as if what they will be and I am build the peace and your war and I will postpone it, not peace. So in all these things that has happened, what has been the role of Peace Council in the quest to get justice for the people who were killed in Techiman? Nothing. They think they're just elections na yamwa manfano na yenye symposium na yenye sikam and it ends there. Otisi abontin be catch Ghana for say you need $1 million to go about your activity. People will see you as a joke. Is the reason why people were laughing at them on social media because they don't see their essence, they don't see their relevance, and people don't see the reason why we should spend our money. Even if it is not coming from the state coffers, that's a obikura na donate sikana. That particular money is not worth it because that money could have been used for something reasonable and something sensible. We have had several instances in this country where the peace of this particular country has been on the line. For instance, Yantia President Akufo-Addo appointee Obi Oya Tescon patron in one of the universities, Dr. Apiahene, say Omra no Omeye the IT directorate away the Electoral Commission Omeda no. The issue was referred to Council of State. Omakachira and say President Nyamfume Marabia Peace Council, knowing the sensitivity of the work Electoral Commission here and the fact is a person who is a known partisan exposed person going into the commission will create doubt on the minds of the stakeholders in the elections, and they will revolt against the outcome of the elections, even if it is free and fair. The Peace Council thinks that peace is an event, and it only comes handy when we are going into elections. Going into 2020 elections, you saw Electoral Commission on weekend. The people of SAR from election. No sabaya amewu. Elections. It was a diabolic orchestration the government used the Electoral Commission to do. For the first time in the history of this country, you go into elections, the people of your friends SAR were not given the opportunity to elect an MP. Just imagine, now a buying for the also. Now your finance so you people cannot vote to elect an MP. And kadeni besi wokroma say. You go into elections. Now you say district into the Malaysia people cannot vote for an MP, so they should wait for the next elections. This has been made possible under Akufo-Addo. And as if say, and the Peace Council, a commission that is supposed to ensure, say, we achieve peace. And in achieving peace, has to do with tilting the balances of the scales of justice, making sure that everything stands in order. You balance the scales only to achieve justice. And it is only justice that will bring to forth, your friend is saying, peace. Catch yourself. Peace that is built on injustice is war in postponement. It's just a matter of time. So the people are more sharp. Atena omukurum for the past 4 years in here, omu need representative and nobody and Atena to intervene. Obiya quiet. And election time, you run to the people and say, me here $1 million to do peace council, to do peace campaign. You see, in the past, the traditional media made political activism and activities, conversation, political communication so trivial to the extent that people thought, so, anyway, and one idea politics. Oh, yeah, men company for us because politics. No. Such nonsense don't work out today. What the politics we do today isn't for the aged. It is for the future of the younger generation. And we need to do everything to ensure, say, we secure that particular future. We may have a lot of careless people at the corridors of power who may only think about what they feed into their belly today. But we are very much concerned about what happens in the future. Because all the things that has been happening, whether peace council, why council, president, Enti common no krekre wa asem mo ebe voice out they are come in the party no they are now because kana no bia na bebo no is the reason why there has been many injustice in this country, and in the face of it they've done nothing. Won't mean can't say hey, that is absolute nonsense. Because in the political space, my catch is what people see and matter. So you cannot say kukuam no kukuam, you were not appointed in kukuam. Some of these, your friends, a highly charged political sentiment being expressed by the people, must be factored into whatever that you do. Sabaya, public will see the relevance of peace council. The public can appreciate the essence and what you actually represent, so that at the end of the day, people will be advocating. Say, peace council need to do more, because as public, when we sit down and review what they do, it is of paramount interest to the people of this country, and for that particular reason, we need to ensure, say, we resource them. But if you are making an argument that a peace council has to be resourced, to do what? To hold event? Pay themselves per day. Yes, it might say yes in Tiamoka. I don't care. But even using the name Peace Council alone, it come with a whole lot of diplomatic goodies. So Obima one city in the name of Peace Council, they are giving it to you because of Peace Council. So you cannot tell people so you don't benefit. We roll now what opportunity to travel. So don't tell me you don't get paid. And if you hook up no bimra. Because there are people who are willing to do that even for free. Peace now, you see, your friend is saying, advocates are championing peace going into an election, And you Ghana youth, and who said, no, we don't want violence. Let us abide here for, but let us hold our hands up, watch it, because after all, we are going into elections. And this is a president who, in recent times, has been making a lot of inflammatory, reckless, infantile political comments is seeking to threaten the peace of this country by saying, I will hand over to somebody in my political party. Brian Champo hand over. So these are inflammatory considering the political arena we find ourselves. Peace Council never cautioned anybody. They never caution anybody. These are rhetorics and what the potential to throw this country into a state of pandemonium, a state of chaos, a state of war, state of insecurity. But amidst, Peace Council never found its voice. It's become relevant only when we are approaching elections. And then they know say $1 million is okay to go around, buy cars, buy fuels, we're running around. To do what? Because I am not sure that any young person in Ghana today recognizes the essence, the importance the so-called Peace Council represents. And as a Musia, I am not sure Peace Council can call any young person and say, I am intervening. They don't even recognize you. Because you are part of the problem that young people are seeking to take away. You are all part of it. You see, these are hard conversations you might not want to hear. But I keep telling people, I don't come here to tell you what you want to hear. These are the raw deal you can get. Peace, we all want peace. Because Ghana, we've been celebrated around the world as a beacon of hope. So on the radar of democracy. And our democracy has been fairly stable. Ghana is a stable country. That is why a lot of businesses prefer to come here because you know, say, you'll be secured. So already we've gained this particular nick for ourselves because we respect ourselves so much. But it seems that some people are taking advantage of the situation. And they've concluded in their mind that the average Ghanaian youth is gullible, is emotionally unstable, is politically active, and for that matter, they can't think straight. They are not rational to sit down, do comparative analysis, evaluate situation, and make sound judgment. And it's the reason why very often, Peace Council is bold enough. Omo chairman abe catch and say, omo here $1 million, and they are looking at some donors. Papa, ajuma bay na woye. In the last 4 years, you know what has happened in this country, and I'm a catcher. Yet and I hear Ton Senate Hotel, and the circumstances I hear the Ton Senate Hotel, there has been a massive uproar from other corteses and other people seeking further explanation as to why such a state asset must be sold. Peace Council is not interested. We had a situation in this country where radio stations were closed down, and you and I know some of the radio stations that were closed down. Oh yeah, your friends saying radio station are linked to opposition party. You know, I know some of the excuses and the reasons cited for some of this closure were flimsy, were so stupid, were silly. But in a civilized democratic dispensation like ours, nobody saw the need to call on the president, say he's speaking wisdom to the man, say, Charlie, we are not living in a bush. We are not living in a banana republic. We are not living in the 12th century where somebody thinks, I am the president, I can call the shots, so you give any silly order and that has to be followed. No. We sat in this country, radio stations were shut down for almost 2 years. Nobody saw the need to speak wisdom to the president. And today, going into elections, you come back to tell us, may a Peace Council, and you think there is no serious political party in this country that obeteki Electoral Commission, obeteki the Peace Council serious. In recent times, the Electoral Commission has been embarking on certain things, certain rhetorics, communications, some Ghanaians wanted voice, are yet different from opposition party, are yet different from civil society organization, are yet different from the voice we normally hear, like the Peace Council, like other entities. You're charging or more with the responsibility to ensure, say, the voices of the masses, will get to the good books of leadership. Trust me. Yenya obiya to intervene. the e-levy at some point in time was likely to ignite explosion, political explosion in this country, because you saw the agitation was all over. Ghanaians were very angry. Peace Council never found its voice. The many attacks on journalists and several other staff across Okroma, election registration processes and as a forum. And it's a what transnational no yes and you can only find your voice during election period. And trust me, one lose your essence, your relevance, and what you truly represent. And for that matter, no serious mind will apportion any seriousness to what you are and what you actually represent. And it's the reason why today I'm calling on them, say they have failed the people of this country. What they are Ghana for from in recent times, in the last 8 years, circumstances and near my Rollins bufu ya or ye kuno. I'm telling you, say you come, and you know it, I know it. But that time, no, that's how I say, "We are you who can be uncoso." And near my Emma Burkina Faso for 2 of my buying Ghana, you come. And near my Emma Mali for 2 of my buying her, you come. But you see, Ghanaians, my cat say we are very civilized people. Come and Kroma Kasembi. Say Ghana for what you are there no more money show. What dreams of what Jimmy? By that, I'm sorry. Say enough is enough, no. At that point, you know, nobody can stop them. And some of us, anytime we get opportunity, we tell people, say, violence is not an option. Coup is not an option. Let us hasten slowly. Guard our democracy, because it's something other people envy. And that is what we've been doing all these years. And we expect such an effort to be complemented by these bodies. But $1 now come to any Sikana as a phone member. That is all that they are interested in. Ghana and me, apart from money, we care less about anything. And it's the reason why today we are still locked up in this hellhole, and nobody, everybody, I am for why you be quiet, because they all get their daily bread from what is happening. And the one in Kokasa, you know, the government is abanya very vindictive. They will come after you, and then all the chiefs in this country are quiet, even though they know they are because Okokasa, because they prioritize what they will gain from the government over the collective needs are the panuhia. And to be ankasa, and yet home. And I'm near Masaya, and can be through a pointer, or my Japan is a forest. Say, don't to be know a well to the bush for. It is about the money. Everybody wants a piece of the cake, and once they get it, they shut up. It doesn't matter who they are. So Peace Council should just shut up and give us a break, because we know what they represent. Where and when we needed them the most, they never came to our aid. They didn't even care, and I'm not sure they've ever cared. So our mandate is about election mandate, peace, election related peace. That's fine. And there, I may be ignorant about that. Maybe I can be educated. If Peace Council don't mandate is election related peace, that's fine. And then you're going to election, you can surface election you and wakoda. And you look your crown for home. And that is what they are doing. Enti and there. Oba Bejina Ghana for him, so we hear $1 million to ensure say peace will be achieved. In the first place, what I catch us off our unless somebody attempt to torpedo the legitimate will of the people of this country going into 2024 elections, or there is any attempt to subvert the will of the people, and then you see a certain unwavering collective will on the part of the people to say they will resist. Near my Ghana for me, they haven't been the interview for me. And Peace Council never care. They don't care and they will never. It's about the cash. So, Mr. Man, we've seen your kind. We are sick and tired of these things. The level of hypocrisy in this country, is so staggering, so nauseating, has gotten to a point that you see a lot of people go on social media and people think that they are disrespecting the aged, they are disrespecting a software, they are disrespecting the clergy and a whole lot of stuff. You see, when people get it to their neck and they feel, sir, people we have availed ourselves to respecting over the years are just imposters, because they preach another thing and they do the other thing. Trust and confidence among for repose will wane, and when that veil of trust, where people see you for who you are, at that point you don't expect respect from anybody. So it is not as if say young people of today don't respect. Trust me, they do a lot. But daily exposure to staggering hypocrisy and the fact is that these people are conveniently working for themselves, but not for the people. And then I shine a man for any, and today the availability of information. Young people can consume information from diverse platforms. And one thing maybe you're not aware, any moment, anytime you consume information, you become enlightened. So the more you consume information, the more you become enlightened. And the more you become enlightened, the more you become critically active and be able to analyze situation and make best choices. So once young people are being exposed to various diverse platforms and so forth, you should know, say, they are consuming a lot of information. That is why it's so easy to do comparative analysis, sit here and look at what is happening elsewhere, do that comparative analysis. And when you do comparative analysis, the next thing that will come are critical questions, which people cannot answer. And when you begin poking up, people might think, say, you are disrespecting. No, that is the era we have ushered ourselves, information age. You can't suppress people anymore. The best way out of this situation is to begin to do the right thing. That is the only way. If we don't and we think we can draw respect, trust me, respect is a virtue. It's a virtue that can only be earned. You can't demand it, you can take it, you can draw it, you cannot earn it. And in earning it means that you live up to it. If you don't, trust me. That is why a lot of people in recent times, lose their essence, their relevance. And I'm telling you, a time will come. A lot of the people you see on the political stage, most of them will dip into oblivion. Because they are only relevant today because of the stupid politics we do, emotions, partisan politics. So when you see them, we don't want to see them for who they are. We rather see them based on the emotional attachment we have. But when that emotions go away and we begin to see people for who they really are, that is where that aura of respect and the veil of respect will detach and it will go away. And then you see your real self. That is what is happening. So young people are not disrespecting the aged. The doses of political incompetence, the leader, the recklessness, and the utter disrespect Ghanaian youth are being exposed to, African youth are being exposed to. They are trying as much as they can to get out of it. And that is the acute reaction that you see. Trust me, this is just the beginning. What you see today is just the beginning. When you're ready, just fold yourself up, go find somewhere and sit. Because what is ahead, I'm not predicting, neither am I preempting, but trust me, young people are really going to have a voice. What would you say, Kenya? President, and you'll be a chini bejinaho, or no, I transfer who said, no, this time I need to do something. And now he's negotiating. The youth are negotiating for better terms with the president. We don't need to get there. where a certain force, certain inertia will drive us to negotiate with people. Now, in our own free will, we need to be motivated by goodwill and do what is right for the people. I think that I don't want to bore you with a lot of time into my conversation. The muchiche, first one about Napo. I say ne yakwa door na obeye running mate to Baumia. I spoke it in the earlier conversation, and this one has to do with Peace Council saying that they would need $1 million to run activities of peace going into 2024 elections. It's a bit laughable, but because of the match going on, I don't want to take much of your time. Those are many opportunity to join us. Thank you very much. God willing, tomorrow, same time, I will try. I'm finding the right time for us to have a long engagement, and I think it will be worth it. Oba seize opportunity, share. Sebe obi benye be a share. Because my culture said democracy and kind and a conversation, and you build the democracy everywhere. And the change we seek cannot come unless we initiate it. Let us have our voices be heard. That is the only way we can change the sick and the disgusting political narrative I am nursing over the years, courtesy the traditional media. God do not have their belly invested in this politics. And I'm sure you're aware, most of the so-called top journalists, no more Kromano, they have their belly invested in the politics. So they don't care what happens to you, what happens to me. It's the reason why at some point in this country, we, the Ghanaian people, were held at a gunpoint to finance the delusions of the president. Akufo-Addo so akoda so there is obviously whether a delusions or whatever, we were held at a gunpoint to finance those delusions. It's sick. And these things are happening here because of the media. We need to chart a new path. My culture said, it is not wrong to belong to a political party. You have every right to belong to whichever political party you think is okay. But there is one thing that we should never forget. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And no, there is no we and there is no they. No. So far as we remain human beings, you know what constitutes right and you know what constitutes wrong. That is it. It's the reason why a Democrat, or more the top financiers of Democrat Party, bet me again say, you share debate at Trump ne Joe Biden, but you share Payana yan kasa your candidate Joe Biden, Jina na auto papa soon seminal can be crying with fear. You doubt it the mental acuity. And as a commander-in-chief of the free world, we don't know if we can hand over the future of this country to the hands of a man who may not be mentally stable. Because when and a whole lot of stuff is going on, his own people are bold enough to confront him, including MPs or the governors and the senators and so forth. The question is, will there ever be a time an average Ghanaian politician will have the courage, let's say an MP, to say, may an MP for party A, but may head the session now, may party A take an answer, dear presidency, that I disagree. Until we get there, we can never change anything in this country. We need to do politics of conviction, where you stand for the right, and even if you lose your vote. People have resigned for far lesser costs than answer for them in recent times. And Sana, and Krofo lose elections to Labour Party, Conservatives. You can go and check. You can go and check the number of resignations. They've been in power for 14 good years. Started with David Cameron. Theresa May, no one saying court, Boris Johnson, no one saying court, my mayor already 2 days by or some resign yako, and Sana Sonic and then as for mobile. Resignation upon resignation upon resignation upon resignation. Because these people have something within them called integrity and respect for the people. So at any point in time, if you think you have misconducted yourself, you need to sit up. Bayano, we are seeking to put people who have overwhelmingly misconducted themselves in 1,000 instances. People who are so arrogant, disrespectful like Napo. And people are ushering a young fan may running mate for a political party. Now, can you say a party no one can have a bang? I'm say people sometimes catch as a political parties are not private entities. These are public institutions and people must have vested interest. It is a reason why some of us cannot shut up in the face of these things I cause or a bar a can be. So I don't want to take much of your time. God willing, and then I set it up a small one. Hey, so we'll be having a lot of podcasts on YouTube as well. So you can go to YouTube and follow Ivan Che Innocent one there. Most of the videos will also go there. Tomorrow, same time, we will meet and have a conversation. Thank you very much for those who were able to join us in the first one and the second one. Thank you.